on this board, I'm never alone. In the skate park, I found my home.
Welcome to USAFBL Fingerboard Podcast, the official voice of fingerboarding culture, from league news to community stories with real insight, writer interviews, and heart of the scene. Please follow and turn on notifications for us. Now let's get into fingerboarding. I'm your host, Lamine Cunningham. Today I've got Eli Box, aka Lost Flipper. Welcome to the pod, Eli.
Man, it's good to be back.
Yeah, no worries. I love getting a lot of the homies together and getting on the mic and just talking smack.
Oh, we're going to be doing a lot of talking smack today, huh?
I love it. I love it. All right, this episode, man, we've got crazy insights over the last, week and a half, maybe. I feel like we got to address it. So there's been a lot of stuff in the community going down. We're talking David Jones slander, which I never even thought that like this would even be a thing, but it is definitely a thing. We've got one of the coolest outdoor concrete parks in New York City being crushed and destroyed. We've got so much drama going on this week, and we got to get on the mic. We got to talk about it.
Yeah, dude. People went on a witch hunt for David Jones.
Well, I'm gonna cut you off right there, and we're gonna get right into all the interesting, cool stuff first before we get into all the juicy gossip. Like, we can't hit them with all the juice right up front. We're going to slowly drip the juice. We're going to drip the juice a little bit. All right, first off, we've only got, let's go with the cool stuff right here. We've got Leah. Plies Mag. First female fingerboarder on a mag that I'm aware of. Laying it down for the August 2025 issue number 9. It is out now. You can view it free online at pliesmag.com. You can pick up a physical copy. If you are a subscriber, you're going to get one of these bomb-ass Rise and Dare collab posters. This thing's huge. I don't think I can get it in, like, screen film. Yeah, it's big. It's huge. Anyways, free poster every month right now. We are on a roll. We're getting some cool stuff that we're going to be throwing in there for all the subscribers. Should I leak what they're going to get next month?
Yeah, do it. Got to give them some good with all the drama.
I'm thinking about doing an exclusive sticker sheet for September.
Sweet. Yeah.
Like a big sticker sheet, like at least 6 inches. Yeah, at least 6 inches. Is that big? Is that what they say?
We cannot achieve much with so small penis.
I don't know. It's going to be big.
So? Yeah,
I think it's big.
Awesome.
6 inches is big.
No.
It's big for Plies.
Even then, stickers are awesome, no matter how big, how small.
All sticker lives matter.
That's awesome. Sticker sheet, is it going to have USAFBL Plies stickers, or is that going to be the hidden part?
Nah, it's straight up a Plies exclusive, a first of a first. So if you're not a subscriber, You're missing out on posters, you're missing out on sticker sheets, you're missing out on a guaranteed physical copy getting dropped at your doorstep every single month. Where are you at?
It's cool to get it, man, to be able to look at it and see people you know, people you don't know, read about different stuff. And, depending on what state you're in, see stuff that's close to you, like when Phoenix does all of their featuring people, it's like, man, some of these guys I met,
Man, also, one weird thing that I thought I would have way more of, and maybe it's because we don't talk about it enough. People in the community can submit their photos to pliesmag.com, and if it's cool, we'll put it in the magazine. Like, we're looking for community photos. I figured like we'd launch Finger Graffiti and like people would just be like, oh, dude, that's super cool. Like, I want to get my photos in Plies Mag. I'm not saying it's a drought, but I figured like I would be literally just combing through like tons of submissions, but I feel like I'm gonna have to start marking it every week and letting people know, like, hey, if you're a photographer, you want to get noticed, you want your name in a mag, this is the quickest, easiest, fastest, coolest way to get like that recognition for those cool action shots, those community photos, those product photos. Like, show us what you got. I'm curious to see what everybody's got.
Man, keep it alive. Don't let photography die in fingerboarding. It's not what we need. We need more of it. We need more ads, more on the graffiti wall, more posters, everything.
No, I feel that. I feel like the art side of fingerboarding, I'm not going to say it's dying, but I feel like it's slowing down. I know it's summertime and everybody's like, out there doing hot girl summer or whatever the summer year is called. I don't even know, but whatever that is, like, tone it down, pull the pictures out, smell the coffee, taste the roses.
What did you just say?
Is that what they say? Do all the cool stuff. pliesmag.com. Got to be on a desktop, though. You can't do it on the mobile. So get on a desktop, drop your photos. Make sure you tag the right person for the photo credits, and if it's cool, we're gonna put it in the mag.
I got episode edition 2 and 3 of one of the original Black River magazines, and some of the photos in that are beautiful.
I know you've been aggressive at trying to find some of these lost files of Black River fingerboarding magazines, like the old 2010, 11, 12s.
Yeah, dude, I got some good stuff in here. Got a lot of old members in it too, and it kind of highlights a lot of the scenes. It's doing a lot of the stuff that obviously you guys do, but that's because you guys are both magazines. Am I going to get in trouble for showing these? I remember you said you couldn't.
I don't
Like,
I don't think so. I don't see a
okay,
reason why you can't.
check that out. Look at some of this stuff.
What issue is that?
This is issue number 2.
You got a number 2, a fingerboarding mag? That thing
Number
is prime. Like there's no bent corners or nothing. That's mint.
a 2, and this one is a 3. I don't have a 1, unfortunately, but
Yeah, that thing is mint.
yeah, I figured you'd like to see these. Look at that.
I
I
don't
mean,
even know why you're not white gloving this right now. Like this
look at
feels
that.
almost like illegal to even see you just like fingerprinting these things up. That's crazy, crazy.
I bought them from an OG gentleman in Canada. I'm not gonna oust him because I don't want people bothering him. But if you see this, thank you. You're the goat, and these are being taken care of very well.
Obviously not white glove taken care of, just like taken care of.
Taken care of, yeah. It's pretty cool to see, man.
Ooh, I just thought of a new leak for the mag. You remember when you were talking about a large Plies logo t-shirt?
Yeah, like the Thrasher stuff, man. That's what I want. I want to do some outdoors and just have a massive Plies logo in the back. That's what I want.
I talked to Brian.
Are we getting the ball rolling on it?
We made it happen. It's
Sweet.
supposed to be dropping mid-September, but let me know in the comments if you want the large logo Plies mag t-shirt to drop mid-August. Like let me know. Let me know in the comments.
I'm gonna send everybody to come comment about it.
I tell you what, if you can get 30 people to comment large Plies logo t-shirt in the comments of this epi, I'll drop it mid-August.
All right, we'll hold you to that, man.
All right. I'll drop it mid-August for you guys.
Nostalgia over.
No, you're all good. We're 1 week away from hitting the road and going to Portland. We're talking a nice 3-day drive to Portland. Here's a crazy thing about the Portland USFBL tour stop is that I booked all of the hotel stays and stuff all along the way about 4 or 5 months ago. I don't know if I told the story or not, but on our second drive day, Layton, Utah is at that 21 hour mark. And so we're staying there, which is like basically one of the largest cities along the path. Otherwise, I'm staying in like some random like truck stop motel, whatever. But anyways, we're staying in Layton, Utah. It's a bigger city, so I got a lot of options for hotel stay and stuff. And then Skate Station built a store. I didn't say built a store, but they basically started a store. They opened up a store few weeks ago, probably about a month now, like ago. And it's now in the same city that I happen to be staying at. And I was like, Layton, Utah, like, why does that sound familiar? And I'm like, oh, snap, Skate Station's there. So guess what I'm doing? August
Surprise stop.
13th in Layton,
Surprise
Utah.
stop. Hell yeah. I'm gonna look up how far that is. That's what I'm doing right
It's
now.
super, super far. At least for me. From here, it's like 2 days, 20 hours. So it's a good little drive. So yeah,
Let's see.
USAFBL Levine Cunningham. We're gonna be crashing the Skate Station store August 13th.
That's all the way across the country.
Yeah, it's hella far. It makes me a little queasy just looking at it on a map. Like if you go like MapQuest, you just see like how far that is, and I'm like, dude, I am dragging all of my stuff across the country.
Are you bringing that warehouse ramp? Is that one of the
I'm
ones? That
bringing
thing is
all the parks, like all
gorgeous.
like 15 of these, 16 of these parks. Then we've got about 20 local sourced parks all being collected in one area. So we're on track for like 33, 34 parks at the Portland event, which is craziness.
Yeah, that's pretty nuts. 30s, that's a lot. That's rivaling probably Mike, if I had to guess. It'd be
It's up
interesting to know
there.
how many.
It's
Yeah,
up
it's up there for sure. That's insane.
Yeah, so we got all the warehouse ramp parks, we got the Black River parks, we've got community parks. Like there's a lot going on for this 2-day event, and we're gonna be crowning a regional champion
Is that for the
up for,
West region?
for the
Right?
Western region.
West. I hope Vegas goes, man. After meeting that gentleman and
Oh,
seeing
you met
him,
Vegas FB?
Yeah, dude, I flew out to the Route 66 event. The whole
Oh,
Savage crew was
snaps.
there. Yeah, that was awesome. That's where that came from. Um,
Okay, shout out Vegas FB.
dude, I hope him. Dude, look, I'm gonna do it on my own time, but I think that because I think that if Vegas goes to regionals, he's making it to nationals. I have no doubt about it.
I
If
know he hit
Vegas,
me up and told me he was trying to make it out there.
that'd be awesome if he could. If Vegas, when Vegas crushes regionals, and again, we know who I'm talking about in Texas crushes it in Atlanta because we brought him up every episode.
You're
That
talking
could
about
be
Mr. Extra Blast.
Mr. Patrick Baja. See, look, this gets me excited. You and I have had conversations about characters. This is one of those moments, right? Vegas in the West, Baja Southern region, former teammates, because Baja's on Ditch Decks now, was on Savage Graphics, pro for Savage Graphics, just like Vegas. So we could see a matchup made in heaven because Vegas's consistency is unmatched, but unmatched in Switch. But Patrick Baja is one of the best in the South for Game of Skate, and he's proven it over and over, especially this year. Vegas, I don't think has USAFBL medals except for in 22 when I went back and tried to research him.
Well,
It's
he's
been a while.
actually all right, so a little backstory with him, but yeah, he's I think he's gold or silver in a couple USFBL the Vegas stop for sure. I know that. But last time I saw him was actually in Germany at Fast Fingers 21.
He placed 13th, I think, is what Savage told me. Is he placed like top 20 in Germany, which is nuts. So we've got some character building here. We've got people that could be facing off potentially in Indiana, I think, and just makes for an interesting story. I'm gonna get into it on my own Instagram.
Wait, so you're saying that Vegas FB is like ranked 13 globally?
Well, so that you like you said, that was Fast Fingers 21. That would have been a while ago. But when I was talking to Kurt at Savage and we were talking about Vegas, he said that when he went to Germany, he placed very high.
I
Now,
remember, I mean, there was a lot of people there. There was so much going on. Like I saw him compete. He did phenomenal, by the way. Like definitely a little tear in my eye because he's putting on for USA for sure, like putting us on the map. I don't remember how high up he went. It's been a hot minute, but I'll have to double check the scoreboard and see where he's at. But I know he did fairly well, and he told me like I don't even know if I should say this, but like he was like, dude, I was hella nervous. Like I was he was anxious. His anxiety was high.
well, he's a veteran. He's been around for a
He's
long
got some
time.
experience. He's got some
He's
experience.
got a
I'm
lot of
excited to see
experience.
see what goes down. I mean, we're talking about some crazy storylines. We're talking about some of the underdogs coming up out of the woodwork, like making a name for themselves. Like we're looking at some craziness going down this summer. So, anyways, Portland, Oregon, August 15th and 16th. I'm crashing Layton, Utah Skate Station on the 13th. I'm super, super stoked for that. And I'm excited to put on a show for you guys. But let's move on. Let's move on. I feel like we need to get into some of this juicy drama.
Well, they're both sort of connected to New York in an unfortunate way, but do we want to go? Do we want to go on the side that we are kind of speculating about, or how are we going to do this?
All right, let's talk about the slander. Because this is wild to me. Like, let's talk about the David Jones slander. So for those that aren't aware, not super tapped into Instagram or got day jobs that are employed, I get you guys. It's hard to keep up with all the nonsense that's going on in the community. But there has been some allegations of racial comments said by David Jones. And I didn't want to believe it. And I was like, you know what? Like, I wanted to kind of say something. And then I was like, like, it just doesn't sound legit. So I just kind of like, I was passive. Like I didn't say anything. I was just like keeping up with kind of what's going on with the whole situation. But I know you've been super heavily invested in what was actually said and what was going on. You kind of want to get into it?
I'll say this. I'm glad that you weren't one of the people that said anything and not for any kind of altruistic. The problem that we have right now with the whole David Jones thing that I think you and I both agree on is that so many people went on a witch hunt for David Jones without ever seeing or hearing what he actually said. He didn't say anything that, for I think where he's from, would have been misconstrued in any kind of way that it was in the States. So people heard him say one thing, and because of the political climate that we are in 2025, they automatically assumed it meant something racist and something racial. And so, without ever actually hearing what he said, people started calling him out as a bigot, started calling him out as a racist, started saying this, saying that, and what they said. I'm going to cut the top off so that we're not ousting people on a very large platform. Basically, he was talking to this group of people, and after the conversation, he said that he was doing guerrilla marketing for Black River, which is reference to guerrilla warfare, which is just a type of warfare where you like pop in and out and your surprise ambushes and just different type of warfare than anyway. And so people took what he said as guerrilla marketing, automatically charged it as something racist without one ever asking him what he actually said, and two, without ever hearing what he said. And then finally, a couple days ago, he put out the full, I think it's a 4-minute video, just uncut, of exactly what he said and exactly what happened. That's what happened. That's the baseline of it. If you want to expand on it.
Well, as a person of color and as a world traveler, the most interesting thing about racism is that I'm going to be very general and very like full picture. Like, there's obviously exceptions to everything in life, but as a weird thing about racism is that like racism only exists in the United States. And I'm going to elaborate on that. So, people in the United States hate on people because they're African or they're Hispanic or they're Asian. But like if you leave the United States, people still hate people, but they don't hate people because of their skin. They hate people because of where they're from or the country that they represent. So like if you leave the United States, like Koreans hate Japanese and Japanese hate Koreans and Europeans aren't very friendly to Americans. Like no one in Europe is like, I hate Black Americans or Asian Americans. Like they hate Americans and not trying to like, full flown like push like any kind of hatred or narrative or anything like that. But people tend to hate people from a country or like basically or like an area. So it's more like a regional country thing. Like, so it's just like they don't like people from that country or from that place. It's never like a skin issue. It's never, a European or an Asian or whatever that's like hating someone because of the skin color. It's because they from a country and they don't like that country or people from that country. And so it's really weird how like racism really only exists in the United States. And I find that really, really interesting that like people outside the United States hate a broad base of people from an area where people in the United States just hate skin color, which to me is just like I never really understood it.
I don't understand it either, but got pretty heavily misconstrued, and people thought that he was just being hateful and being a bigot, and truthfully, he wasn't. He didn't mean
I think
anything derogatory. He didn't mean anything. You can just tell by the way he said it. It was just, you know,
Well, I
but
saw that and I was just like, and that's one of the main reasons why I didn't really like really chime in and try to get on the bandwagon and all that stuff for, the David Jones slander and all that stuff. Cause I'm just like, him being, not from the US. And I'm like, that's kind of a weird thing for anyone outside of the US to really kind of say, especially against like Black Americans of all races too. So I'm just like, that's weird. That's just weird. It's just none of it made any sense. And I was hoping like, something was going to happen soon because it was escalating pretty quick. Like it was getting pretty heated on the interwebs. Like it was getting kind of crazy. So I was hoping that like David saw it and he immediately like saw it and addressed it and cleared the air. And I was like, all right, dude, like I feel that. Like I'm glad that like, a lot of damage control was basically kind of done, but like it could have gotten real bad real quick, and I'm glad it didn't really escalate.
Yeah, me too. I know throughout the last couple of days, whenever people posted about it, I'd send them a message on their story and be like, "Hey, do you have any proof that this happened so that we can just quit shit talking for no reason? Not we, but we as a community can just, know exactly what happened and address it instead of just saying, "Oh, well, I heard this guy on Instagram said so and so that David said this." It's like, really? That's what you're going based on? So, but that is a very interesting insight that you have, traveling the world is that people view discrimination, view
It's
whatever
different.
word it's
Yeah,
different. Yeah,
it's
it's
different.
interesting.
And it was kind of weird because I've been discriminated domestically and abroad, but like I've never been discriminated abroad because of my skin color. Like I've been discriminated because I'm from America. Like there's countries that don't really like us. Not like any fingerboarding countries that I ever went to, but like I've gone on vacation, I've been to Asia, like you say you're from America, like it's almost like their whole vibe kind of changes and stuff. Like, I don't know, it's interesting for sure. But, as someone that's been in a lot of these type of situations, like yeah, I can feel those vibes. I can feel like when something's just like isn't right. But anyways, I don't know. I don't want to get too far into it, but there is a one thing that I do want to point out that I'm actually very, very proud of is that if someone literally was saying something like that and was about that life, like there was a lot of people ready to make a stand and not tolerate any of that.
Yeah, there were. I think that there's a careful line of going after people just based on hearing
No, I
potentially what
agree.
somebody said. So we did a very good job at ousting people, but I do think our community needs to learn to say, okay, why don't we wait until there's proof?
Yeah, no, there needs to be proof, receipts, whatnot before, we start going on these crazy witch hunts and stuff like that. I definitely agree that the starting of this witch hunt was not justified, but I like the fact that people are not afraid to start a witch hunt if there's the proper receipts and the proper motive for basically
Yeah.
starting a witch hunt. So like I am super kind of proud of the community basically being like, like if there's some injustice or some crazy stuff going on, like, we're not tolerating that. And it's weird
Yeah.
because there's a lot of things that like fingerboarders will and won't do, but there's one thing that like we all kind of like stand up and put a foot down on. So reminds me a lot of like the biker community and like a few other like community stuff too that are really tight niche, real small, tight niche groups. Like don't really tolerate none of that stuff.
Speaking of something else, David Jones related, the other thing that you will see in the screenshots related to David Jones is when he went to the now deceased New York DIY, he pulled a handrail out of a stair set, and in the next frame, the handrail's back in the same place. So what we're leading into is we do want to talk about the New York situation. And in some of the screenshots, people do call David Jones out for vandalizing the New York spot in light of it being destroyed recently, even though I believe the video of him going to New York was a year ago. So there's that, which we talked to, or I don't think I screenshotted it, but Mr. Squared came out and said that it was a misunderstanding on David Jones's part with the DIY and that he put the rail back and that he did his best to fix it in light of it being destroyed recently. He has actually done help to, I think, donated a little bit of like supplies or some kind of funding to help get the park back up. So unfortunately, this episode has a lot to do with David Jones, but both of which are just kind of unfortunate circumstances with his name in the middle. So that leads us into the New York DIY being destroyed.
He has a lot of David Jones stuff. David, man, he's just having a tough time in the United States. I don't know what it is,
Gonna scare him
but
off.
I know, don't scare him off. I still want fingerboarding week.
He's gonna scare him off.
Yeah, I want fingerboarding week. All right. Yeah, New York City has a DIY spot that's really popular amongst the locals, and I've seen a lot of like clips, and I know there was like an event there like right before fingerboarding con, and if I had the extra PTO, like I should have like went down there and go check it out, like and did the event down there. They were doing like the DIY spot. They also were doing like the tiny skate shop, I believe, like not too far away as well, kind of in collaboration with all of that. But anyways, like It's a pretty big ordeal for the locals down there. This thing looks cool. It's like a destination, to be honest with you. Like it's been on my bucket list to make it down. I was really hoping to do another fingerboarding con or something like that, and definitely take the extra day and venture out and go check it out. So like when I heard like this park, this concrete outdoor public park was like just completely destroyed. Like I was like, dude, that sucks. Not even just like it sucks as like an outsider. So I couldn't even imagine like how heartbreaking that is as a local who can actually just, take the bus or a subway or, any form of transportation and just go like hit it up real quick. And so definitely, definitely an ordeal. I don't know who did this. We still are unclear as far as like, who did this. Was it, a bunch of snot-nosed kids just thinking it's fun to, just destroy stuff because we're all alive during the young and dumb days where you're just like, oh yeah, this is cool, but you don't really understand that like, you know, it's cool and funny to you guys, but like, it's painful to a lot of the people that, truly enjoy this stuff.
I think it was probably not fingerboard community. I don't I don't see anybody in our community going out of the way to do stuff like that. That's kind of my theory, but I don't really know. And just as a sidebar, I think Geraldine has a video where she goes to the DIY and to the small fingerboard cafe shop thing. I think she went to both in that video, but I'll double check on that.
Hmm. It's interesting. So M squared, he he's been a very strong contributing factor as far as like rallying up the troops, spending his own money, getting people to kind of help donate to the cause of rebuilding that concrete park. I know they built some of the supplies. They had a crew out a couple days ago, kind of, trying to rebuild, which I guess the underlying caveat to all of this is that, like, as much as this sucks, it's also kind of a cool thing to be able to rebuild it bigger and better and more to your liking, I guess, than
Yeah.
ever. I mean, it just sucks the way that, obviously went down, but like being able to build and customize a brand new empty canvas of a park is got to be pretty cool, very fun, a great experience. And I can't wait to see how this thing turns up. I'm gonna go out on a limb because I know a guy that knows a guy that runs Plies, but I feel like this might be a Park of the Month kind of article once they finish all this stuff up.
Yeah, because it like rallied the entire community. There's people all the way in Vegas I talked to or in that area that are sending stuff there for them to use in the park, man. It became just a community wide event. Everybody was like, what can we do to help out or donate or I think some people were trying to find whoever did it, but I think most people were wanting to know how they can help rebuild the park, and it's pretty awesome to see all of us come together.
No, definitely. It's one of the cool things that I'm really starting to fall in love with the community. There's been so much weirdness going on this week, witch hunts, slander, destruction, but like at the end of the day, like we've got a community here that's like super strong, super passionate, pretty much down to like just, pick up the torch if necessary. So I'm very impressed and very happy with our community as strong as we are and as indifferent that we all are as well. Like we all come together and we're like, dude, this is what has to go down and we just make it happen.
Yeah. Even when there's some whack shit, we try and help out, best we can.
Definitely, definitely. And M squared, I mean, this is kind of this is borderline fingerboarder of the year conversation worthy type stuff going on here. I don't know if anybody's been keeping track of fingerboarder of the year, getting them edits out, doing their community involvements and things like that, but I don't know. This might be put your pinky out and kind of drop a name in the fingerboard of the year conversation for sure.
Yeah, man. I think fingerboard of the year is a conversation that I want to have, but not a lot of people care enough. And we should, I think, talk about it more to change that. I'm sure when Skater of the Year was first like, hey, we're going to do this, they were kind of like, and now it's one of the most debated topics at the end of the year in skateboarding is who's going to get SOTY, who's going to get. And I think that if we can build up enough hype, and maybe not even hype, maybe build up enough legacy and impact for what it would be, because hype's kind of temporary. If we can build up enough impact and legacy of whoever gets it year after year, that people will start to care more. And I think it could be a really interesting thing, that even though you might not see somebody on the cover of the magazine, somebody that's built and rebuilt the park in New York and put out video parts and competed, it might be a way to show like, hey, these are guys that aren't being seen, but this is who we're doing this year. This is who's made it work and who's made it happen. I just think that there's a lack of conversation around Fingerboard of the Year, and I think that we can do a lot to change that.
Well, we definitely need to talk about it more, especially now as we're starting to get closer to the end of the year. I mean, we're talking like, what, 3 months left, 4 months left? So, I mean, like, it's creeping around real quick. So, but basically, if you guys are looking for the standard and guidelines for Fingerboard of the Year, you can go to pliesmag.com. You can see a lot of the Fingerboard of the Year qualifications, specifications, timelines, all that good stuff. But really, I mean, we're looking for people that are heavily involved in the community, doing things like rebuilding parks, hosting events, community outright reach, anything with real fingerboarding community involvement. We're looking for that. That is a very strong focal point. Obviously, we want to see them edits. We want to see them welcome videos. We want to see all that cool stuff. And then it doesn't hurt, if you got a little competition underneath your belt or whatnot, whether it's combo of the year, line of the year, king of the plies, anything like that. That's always cool too. But community involvement, definitely top tier, like top tier. So more involved with the community you are, the higher the chance that you're going to get nominated. You might win this prestigious award coming down here at the end of the year. So
The crazy one. Imagine being named first Fingerboard of the Year. And see, that's a whole nother conversation. You and I could probably have a 25-minute episode on
just on
each,
fingerboard of the year.
on just Fingerboard of the Year. Because, I mean, if you're going to look at who's done the most for the community, you got to look at Mike and the BR guys. But then if you look at contests in the contest circuit, it's like, well, some of these guys haven't competed that do a lot for the community. Then you look at video parts. It's like, look at everybody that, puts out consistent edits, like Rock. Rock puts out banger parts or banger edits almost every
I
week.
never skip a rock edit. Even
Ever.
on TikTok, I'm just like, oh snaps! Like I can always tell
Yeah.
with the hype music, like the
And
the
so,
edit guide right there. That's what I'm talking about.
man, you got so many people, and then you get tons of people that you don't necessarily see that are doing a lot for the community, especially people that are busy running shops, Six Skates, which one did you say? Skate Station, Flat Face, whatever it may be. You see people that aren't maybe the most public that are doing so much more for the community than people that are just or people that are competing all the time, not just competing, but people that are competing all the time. Because different avenues to fingerboarding, and if you want to be a brand and that's what you do, then you can be the best at that, and then you can also be the best at competing. But it is interesting. There's a lot of people that for the very first Fingerboard of the Year, and I do specifically think the first Fingerboard of the Year, man, there's so many people that should
It's
be
gonna be
brought up in
tough.
conversation.
It's gonna be
It's gonna be
tough.
tough. We've got so many people in our community that put people on pedestals, rightfully so, that put people on pedestals above what other people are doing, even if, because I think Chael Sonnen said it the other day that current bias is a real thing, and that you may see somebody as the greatest of all time because they're on the best streak of the last year, but they may never stack up to the great. So it's interesting, man. I think there's a lot of discussions to be had. I don't think they're being had enough, unfortunately. Maybe as closer we get to November and people start voting and you start making it more public, man, we'll see. We'll see more, dude. I hope so. I really hope so, man.
Well, I'm excited for it. I know it's not being talked about a lot, but I mean, on the other hand, it's not really being talked about a lot simply because there isn't a lot of platforms to really have those conversations on. Like, most of us live on Instagram, and Instagram really isn't the place to have conversations, mainly because posts literally just disappear. Like, I have no idea where they go. Like, someone makes a post, talks about it. 2 days later, you can't find that post ever. Like, it's just gone. So it's one of those like, having those conversations and having a platform to be able to have those conversations is really important. That's why, I try to go above and beyond and have platforms like the podcast and the magazine and having the tour and people being able to come together and have conversations in real life and having those memories and just the camaraderie that comes around a lot of the stuff that's going on. So definitely tap in. We've got kind of a recap of what's been going on. But yeah, we've got Portland, Oregon, August 15th to 16th. That's going to be the following weekend, next weekend, depending on when this drops. We've got Plies Mag, issue number 9. That is out. Go check it out for free. Go grab a copy if you're a collector or even if you're not a collector. It's cool as shit stuff right here. We're giving away free stuff every month with the mag, whether it's a poster, a sticker pack, or even some, I might drop an unreleased t-shirt. Should I drop that unreleased t-shirt? I might drop it. Give me 30, ooh, you got the last month's poster. We've got the David Slander. We've got the crushing of the New York City Park. And then we've got Fingerboarder of the Year. Hell of an episode. Hell of an episode.
Hell of an episode.
Where can people find you, Eli?
Find me at Lost Flipper on Instagram. Find me Lost Flipper on YouTube. I'm going to be having some of the conversations we talked about here, Fingerboarder of the Year, and amongst other things coming up that I'm going to keep a little bit under secret.
And of course, you can find me at USAFBL on all platforms. Eli, it's been a pleasure. It's been exciting.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you having me on again. It's awesome.
Until next time.
With my fingerboard, I'm ready to dive. Pushing limits, flipping tricks high in the sky. Every sliding climb, I'm chasing that high. Feel the rhythm, let it flow. Fingerboarding, let's steal the show. Fingerboarding, I'm flying free. With every flick, I'll write my story. On this board, I'm never alone. In the skate park, I found my home. Grip take tight, I'm soaring like a bird. Every trick a story, every slide a word. Grinding on the edge, I'm breaking the mold. Fingerboarding dreams worth the wait and gold. Hear the wheels as they scream in this fingerboarding dream. Fingerboarding, I'm flying free. With every flick, I'll write my story. On this board, I'm never alone. In the skate park, I found my home. Hear the wheels as they scream in this fingerboarding dream.